The minimum amount of energy required to begin a reaction is called the activation energy. We will look at enzymes, which the main function of enzymes is to lower the activation energy. In other words, to reduce the amount of energy required for the reaction to occur. We will talk about aerobic respiration, in other words, a reaction that requires oxygen. There are anaerobic respiration or anaerobic reactions where oxygen is not required. Enzymes are catalysts. They can be used over and over. They are specific and they lower the activation energy. An enzyme connects with a substrate and the reaction occurs at its active site. So here we see the enzyme and the substrate where the reaction occurs, that's the active site. Eventually, the specific enzyme will produce a product. So what does it mean for an enzyme to lower the activation energy? Here we see reactants without enzymes. Notice the high activation energy, but with the enzyme, notice the lower activation energy to eventually produce the product. So, for example, enzymes you can find in pretty much all organisms. So, for example, this specific organism, which you can find deep in the ocean, has specific enzymes which allows it to survive in such an area. Now, what are enzymes with respect to macromolecules? Remember, there are four types of macromolecules: proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids. Enzymes are proteins, which means that it can change form when it is in unsatisfactory environment. In other words, the shape of the enzyme changes, the shape of the protein changes, therefore it denatures. So really good example here on your x-axis, pH. So notice 2 very acidic, 10 very alkalinic. Enzyme activity, pepsin, which can be found in the stomach. Really, this enzyme has a high activity at a pH of 2 or very acidic. Trypsin, which is found in the small intestine, notice its pH is more alkalinic, pH of 9, and it works best at a pH of 9. Now, what would happen if you put these enzymes, if you switch them? Then they would denature and no reaction will take place.